Welcome back, everyone. So, if you saw last week, I did my top 10 video games I want to see in Universus, and now I want to break down my top 10 anime that I would like to see joining Universus. First, let's start with some honorable mentions. Starting with Fire Force, obviously. I love Fire Force, it's hilarious. I don't know how much they could get out of Fire Force. I mean, a lot of everything kind of just does with fire, so I have a feeling fire would be a huge symbol. But if they stick to doing only certain symbols in certain sets, I could see a Fire Force set kind of working. Give everyone fire and then, like, one different symbol maybe? I don't know. I just like Fire Force. I thought it'd be kind of cool. Next up is going to be... probably easier if I just scroll this way. Get Backers. So this is probably an anime, and I'm sorry that the slides are blurrier this time around. I don't know why. I don't know why it's deciding to be blurrier this time as opposed to the video game one. Maybe it's just the way that the picture's downloaded. But Get Backers, this is one of my favorite anime that I've seen, and it's not a very popular one, so I don't see it coming into Universus likely, but there's just such a wide cast of characters. You have the blonde guy here, Genji, who uses electricity. You have his bespectacled friend Bon, who has a grip of, like, I think it's 10,000 kilograms. He could basically, like, he scalped a dude with one hand in one episode. It's crazy. The dude in the suit back there is a blood user. He uses his own blood as a weapon. Mr. Akabane, he's hilarious and spooky. But so many interesting characters with a wide range of abilities, and I think it would really be kind of cool to explore card design with the Get Backers characters. When Rochester CCG was doing their DLC design contest, I actually considered putting a Get Backers DLC together, but I couldn't get the symbols that they wanted us to use to line up with specific characters, so it is what it is. Another honorable mention is going to be Chapter Black from Yu Yu Hakusho. I know we just had Dark Tournament, and I know a lot of people don't quite like the pacing of Chapter Black, but I think that between the Psychics and Shisui's group, I think you have a really interesting cast that you can pull from, and I mean, it's not the Underworld Demon World tournament, so there's that. But I think it'd be kind of cool to do a Chapter Black set, even if it's just a small one. I think we're still in the honorable mentions here with Mashal, Magic, and Muscles. So this is one I have not seen. I will go ahead and outright say I haven't seen it. I've seen clips, and I've got a friend of mine who raves about it all over the place, but it's a magic-based anime, and this would give us more spells aside from just what's in the Critical Roles Challenger series. Plus, again, very unique abilities and power sets that I just think Universus could go crazy with. Weird that... okay, maybe it's just the pictures I chose. Some of them are clearer. But yes, so this would give spells more to do, other than just the Critical Role Challenger series, unless we get more Critical Role, but we could always use more support for some of these more forgotten keywords. Next is an honorable mention for my friend Jared. He absolutely loves Metabots. I liked Metabots when I was growing up. I thought it was hilarious, and this could give much more use to the tech keyword, maybe some ally, and I think it'd be fun. Who doesn't love a bunch of super fighting robots? And then I think we're starting into my top 10. We're going to start with Zatch Bell. So... oh no, this is still honorable mentions. Nope, Zatch Bell. So Zatch Bell, I only saw half of it, maybe, when it was coming on, like, Cartoon Network and stuff. I watched it, but then situations changed to where I couldn't watch it anymore because I didn't have TV. But again, it's another character and show that uses spells with these spell books here. So more for the spell keyword to do. And I think it'd be kind of cool to have the hero and their Momoto as like a joint character card. I just think that'd be pretty neat. So now on to the actual top 10. We're going to start with Mega Man NT Warrior. Now, if you saw my top 10 video games wish list, you'd see that I had Mega Man X on there. Yes, I know this is technically double dipping a bit, but I liked Mega Man NT Warrior. I thought it was really cool. Again, you could have the whole partner thing with the human, and then the PET, the pet, the Navi that they use, like Lan and Mega Man here. There was a guy with, he was like a secret agent, and he had a sniper one, Searchman. That was pretty dope. But also, you have what I think really interesting card design capabilities, especially with the new attuned mechanic. There's a character called Color Man, or in the dub I believe he's called Wacko Man. He's a clown. But I think you could use the different symbols design space to give him maybe 2 or 3 symbols, and then have each of his cards have one of his primary symbols and then another symbol that he doesn't have, and have him gain abilities or whatever based on the different number of symbols or colors that he's wielding. I think that'd be a really neat design space that I don't think I've seen Jasco or UVS Games go after. I believe there was Elena from, I want to say, the Sabretooth era who did something like this, but I'd love to see design spaces like that come back, and I think Mega Man NT Warrior has a lot of potential for this game as not only just a Mega Man property, but a pretty cool show with some pretty cool characters. On to my number 9 pick, Record of Ragnarok. Whoops, we're skipping ahead. So cards on the table. I hate this show. I was so looking forward to it when I found out what it was. When I saw trailers for it, I thought, oh, gods and humans fighting. This is going to be so incredibly cool. The episodes are 1/3 history lesson, 1/3 mythology lesson, 1/3 fight. And the 1/3 fight is like 1.5-minute chunks. And I absolutely hated it. I didn't even finish Season 1. And then I heard that at the end of Season 1, they teased me with the Jack the Ripper and Hercules fight, the 2 people you see that I've put on the sides here. And Jack the Ripper was one of the main reasons I was going to watch the show, because I wanted to see how they portrayed him. So I just waited until the whole fight was done, the second season was done, and watched the unabridged, the edited fight with all the fight scenes just clipped together on YouTube. It was dope. But this is yet another series I think that Universus could really tap on, because the characters are so cool, the fighting styles are so unique, and we wouldn't have to deal with these awesome fights getting separated by mythology lessons and history lessons. A show like this should make me want to look up these characters on my own time, not sit me in a school-like lesson. That's how painful some of these were. Like, I think the fight between Lu Bu and Thor took 3 or 4 episodes, and there was maybe 7 or 8 minutes of actual fight. The rest was all, like, history lessons and explaining their backgrounds and stuff. And for characters I already kind of knew about, it didn't reach me. I thought Adam and Zeus was a really fun fight, mainly because with Adam being a Judeo-Christian character and kind of their mythology, they kind of had more fun with it. It wasn't just strictly a history lesson, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, I think Universus could really make use of Record of Ragnarok much better than the show could, probably. Oh, I should also probably say for my honorable mentions, I didn't put them on here, but Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, definitely an honorable mention. I'm gonna get murdered. I haven't seen it. I have seen the episode with Tucker, the guy who fuses his daughter and his dog. I've seen that episode, and I've seen the very last episode of Brotherhood. That's it. I've been meaning to sit down and watch it. It's on the list. My wife hounds me about it on a regular basis, but it is on the list, but that's why I didn't put it in my honorable mentions, mainly because I forgot about it, and I've never seen it, so I can't, in good conscience, like, make a full-throated endorsement for it, other than it's very, very popular. So after Reign of Ragnarok, we get on to my number 8 pick, Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple, or History's Mightiest Disciple, Kenichi. So the reason this isn't higher up on my list is because I'm a realist. I adore this anime. This is one of my favorite shonen. It's the first manga I've read start to finish, and I love it. I love the characters. I love all... Oh, you can't see my mouse. But the guy here, right above the blonde girl's hair, Siegfried, with his arms kind of in a Y pose, he's my favorite of the... They call him the... I think they're called Ragnarok. The group here above the two purple-clad main heroes. They're really cool. The 8 Great Fists of Ragnarok. They each have their own fighting style. The guy over here next to the hooded guy is Thor. He's a sumo guy. And actually, the hooded guy is Hermit. But he's actually not my favorite. But they all have different fighting styles. They're all based off of real martial arts, except Siegfried. He's just weird. His whole thing is he spins to deflect damage, so you could have a deflect character, which is pretty cool. And it's just a great one of those coming-of-age shonen where it's the main character just trying to improve himself and overcoming adversity. It teaches you about growing up, and between Kenichi, Miyu, the Ragnarok, 8 Great Fists, the masters that you kind of see in these silhouette corners here, his 5'6", 5.5. The Grandmaster doesn't do much teaching, but his senseis, you have a whole deep pool of really cool fighting styles to choose from, and I think it would fit right in. The only reason I put it so low, again, I'm a realist. Not a lot of people have seen it, I wouldn't say. I'd be shocked. If you have seen Kenichi and you like it, please drop a comment in the on the video. Show your Kenichi love. Who's your favorite Great 8 Fist character here? Moving on, we have my number 7 pick, One Piece. Hear me out. So I know Bandai has the One Piece card game, but if you look at the art, it's mostly manga panels, similar to how we have Attack on Titan manga panels. So maybe we could get the anime license to One Piece. Tall order, I know, but possibly not out of the realm of possibility. And we could get the anime of One Piece, which would be an enormous tentpole license for us because it's gone on for almost as long as I have. I think it's like in its 20th year, something like that. One Piece has been going on forever. I don't know how that man does it. I struggle to finish a short story, and this manga's been going on for decades. But high hopes, maybe, but hey, that's why they call it a wish list, right? Moving on to my next pick, we have Rurouni Kenshin. So I loved this anime growing up. I watched it on Toonami all the time. I just love Kenshin and his fighting style with his reverse blade. Not quite the cast of characters you could have, like One Piece or Kenichi, where everyone's got a different fighting style. But there's enough variation from the different weapon types and stuff that you could use and different characters you could pull from. I'm pretty sure we could get a Rurouni Kenshin set, even if it's not like a couple, like one set per season or something like that, but just take like 1 or 2 major arcs, meld them together, and have your Rurouni Kenshin set. I think that'd be pretty cool and not outside the realm of possibility. After that, we get into a much more colorful cast of characters with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, cards on the table. I've only seen up to part 3. Yeah, that's the part where they introduce stands. Part 3. I've been meaning to start part 4. I just haven't had time. And I hear part 4 is going to be the part that I'm really going to like because it deals with a serial killer and I'm morbid. But in the same vein of, Zatch Bell and stuff where you could have the user and the stand as the same character, this is another really deep pool that you can pull from. It's popular, it's got some really cool mechanics and fighting styles, and every stand could play differently. I think it's really neat, and there's just so many avenues you can explore just from this one property that I think you could get an absolute ton out of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Next up we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. This is quickly become one of my favorite modern shonen. The art style is gorgeous, so I can only imagine what Zoe and her team could do with the art and how to make these pop for some of this 3D background, 2D character with the Japanese watercolor painting style. Just so many cool things. Plus, if we can get my boy Inosuke as a playable character, I would die happy. But between, the demons that they fight, the demon slayers, the Hashira, so many cool characters you could play. I'm sure my wife might take a look at the game if she could play as Nezuko, even though she said she'd play when we got Ash from the Evil Dead, but then he was banned, so it kind of let her out of that. So, either way, I think Demon Slayer would be a really cool property to get if we could make that happen. Next up, we have Jujutsu Kaisen, another one of my favorite modern shonen. I've loved this show. I don't know what else to say. I think the characters are amazing. I've often heard it referred to as Naruto, but better. And I could see it. I mean, except for I'm actually scared of their version of Sakura with, oh my god, I forgot her name. Voodoo Girl here. Nope. Her, Nobara. Nobara is her name. Sheesh. I'm blanking. So, I just think that between, her strange voodoo doll things, you have Panda over here doing punch, kick, slam stuff, kind of like J. Talbane. You have, Megumin here with his shadow puppets that could be, allies. I think that there's a lot of ways you could mix and match the characters for Jujutsu Kaisen into our game system fluidly. I mean, you've got Maki over here with her weapons. I don't know what you would do with Inumaki. Charges, maybe? Charge ranged? I don't think we have sound as a type yet. Gojo just does busted Gojo things. I don't know. But I think that could be pretty cool. Maybe, you have an Itadori, and then you have a separate Sukuna character who has, a game-winning condition if he consumes enough fingers or something. Or maybe Itadori can transform into Sukuna. Who knows? I'm sure there's definitely plenty of things that UVS Games could get done with that. Next up we have Hunter x Hunter. So, my wife would probably tell you that I only want this set for Hisoka. Because she walked in on me watching this after work, and Hisoka was doing creepy, overly sexual Hisoka things. And I'll be honest, porn would have been easier to explain to my wife, and she refuses to watch this show now. But honestly, my favorite is over here on the left, Mr. Crollo Lucifer. I think that dude is dope with his little book of anything you can do, I can do better. With the Nen system, there's so many different cool powers and abilities that you could do. As long as we get to the Chimera Ant arc and skip Greed Island, because Greed Island sucked. I don't care if you want to have, Biscuit as a promo, maybe the Bomber guy as a promo. That's cool. We don't need Greed Island. But, the tower that they fight through, the fight between the 8 legs, what are they called? The Phantom Troop, and, Killua's assassins and shit, and then the Chimera Ant arc. So, there's so many cool things that we could do with Hunter x Hunter. And I would absolutely be all about 95% of Hunter x Hunter being in Universus. But lastly, my number one pick, and this is a fan favorite of mine since childhood, that recently got a full Netflix adaptation. I want to see Shaman King. I want Shaman King in Universus. I have since I heard what Universus was. And I think this would be an amazing property to pick up. You have your weapons, you have your allies, you have... I'm sure you could fit everything else. Your charge, ranged, spell maybe. But this is another really cool, really amazing anime that has so many cool characters, so many cool styles. Or just UVS. Just throw me a bone, literally, and let me play Faust the Eighth and Eliza over here in this corner in the wheelchair. That dude's my favorite, and when I read his story in the manga, I almost cried, because that dude just... there's a reason he's a little unhinged, and I love him, and if we could just get him maybe with, like, Eliza as either an asset or a backup. Hey, we can do backups. Just have Eliza as a backup that he can play multiples of to, like, use his attacks or something. I just want to play Faust the Eighth. Shaman King had a card game. It was absolutely awful. I tried to learn it and couldn't figure it out because no one knew how to play it. It was like that first Digimon card game. No one knew how to play that. So Shaman King deserves so much better than that. I know it was in Vanguard or something for a set. I still think it deserves better. I think we can treat Shaman King with the respect that this awesome show deserves, and I think we can absolutely make several absolute banger sets out of this show. So, did I leave anything out? I realized when I was making both this list and the video game list that I haven't seen or played as much as I thought I have. But is there any that I left off this list that you would like to see? Comment down below. I know some of the UVS people actually watch my content, which shocks me, but maybe they'll see your comments and think, that's a good idea. I'm certainly hoping to sway a little bit with my thoughts, even though I have absolutely no standing.